Sterlite Technologies, Rothschild, and HDFC AMC. He holds an MBA with a specialization in finance and venture capital investing from Alliance Manchester Business School. Karthik's diverse expertise allows him to offer unbiased guidance and jargon free communication, helping clients achieve their financial goals with ease. So, Karthik, it's an extensive and a very well, how do I say, packaged introduction about you. There is a lot to learn from you. So, firstly, welcome to our Bullsmart
Thank you.
live
Thank you so
session.
much for having me on
We
your
are
app
we are
today.
featuring live on LinkedIn, YouTube, as well as on our Bullsmart app. So we are expecting all our the crowd who's tuning into this particular live session to know more from you. So I'm just going to start before we give a heads up. I'm really happy that you studied at Alliance Manchester Business School because I'm a huge Manchester United fan and I've
Me
been
too.
there. I know Manchester Business School is quite well known in the UK, so it's nice to know someone studied from there. So,
No, I'm a
Karthik,
big
what we do?
Manchester United fan as well. So
Oh, great! I think that's going to be a good start then. Apart from the common thing that we had, our name, I think this is the
right,
next common that we have. Great,
right,
Karthik. So let's get started. I'll
sure.
start with a few questions, and then you can give me your how do I say input on it, and please do share any examples that you have had over the years and how this
Sure,
customer experience is evolving in the fintech and investment space. So let's
sure.
start with what are the most significant changes in customer expectations in finance and investment in the recent years, according to you?
So I think to start with, I guess the biggest change that we've been seeing, right, and it's not just finance, but generally in all our areas of life, is we want things happening faster.
Correct.
If you take 10 years ago, you were very happy if somebody online sent you a product in 5 days or 7 days. You were just getting used to ordering online, and if that product actually came home, you were very surprised that online works. It
True.
then moved to 3 days, 4 days, and now we talk about 5 minutes and 7 minute deliveries for 5,000 SKUs, kind of a thing. Our minds in a certain way where we're now expecting certain things to happen
Hmm.
quickly. So coming to finance, if you look at it, earlier, and I'm talking about 15 years, 20 years back, before there was a lot of digital, it was physical trading.
Correct.
People would physically take a share certificate to someone's office, submit it. 30 days later, you got it back with your name printed on it. Today, the average holding period in, especially the younger segment, is less than a week, 10 days, right? They buy a stock
Hmm.
on Monday. By Thursday, and I'm not talking about the traders, I'm talking about investors. If you
Investors.
get the difference between trading and investing. So there has been a very clear shift towards, accelerate the time to both, making returns. I want the experience to happen faster. So onboarding, for example, again, if you rewind a while back, you had to go to the bank, physically submit some
Correct.
things, some photo here there. So this whole what they call as the jam stack, Jandhan, Aadhaar, and mobile banking, allowing us to digitally onboard customers, I think is a huge change.
Correct.
We
Correct.
have to be, brands allowing you to open accounts in 30 seconds, provided everything is in place. So yeah, coming to, I think everyone wants everything faster,
Fast.
but unfortunately, some of the core tenets of investing or money cannot be accelerated. Great companies take time to grow and evolve. You can't
True.
accelerate. Not everything can be solved by throwing more capital at it.
True. True. And I go back to because I remember my father when he started investing in the stock market. What he just said about going and issuing a share request or taking that particular document
Okay.
printed and having that physical copy in hand was their belief of have something in their possession. And then now you come
Exactly.
to a screen where we can see all our portfolios and we can buy it within minutes, and then it reflects over maybe at the end of that day or maybe the next day, right? And on the similar part, when you talk about it going to it going to basically to Zepto. Like let's take an example of Zepto, right? Like if it doesn't come in 10 minutes now, we are of the impression that okay, I'm going to call the customer service and I'm going to tell them that hey, my order you told that it will reach in 10 minutes and it's
Correct.
not here. So that's, I think, on a service point of view, I think that is what has changed far drastically. And I think it is because of the amount of millennials that are there, in India, in that particular age group. So let's move on to on the millennials, because those are the people who get targeted the most.
Correct.
So what is the psychology behind millennials and Gen Z's understanding of finance management? Because yes, they ask for a lot of things faster, right? But we need to understand what is their psychology about financial management, I would say, or their personal finance, because that is something that is not taught, let's say in a B school, or even in any college course. So what is it
Right.
according to you?
So I think there have been some really positive, movements when it comes to Gen Z, millennials in terms of personal finance. There clearly is a lot more awareness today.
Okay.
Whether and I know I'll split it a bit more awareness, and also there's a lot more half knowledge, and which has disastrous consequences. But at least today you see there's a debate around, for example, active versus passive investing. So at least this audience understands we need to invest.
True.
20 years back there was no debate on should we invest. It was like, oh, I work for company XYZ, and most likely, and I'll retire in XYZ, and they'll give me gratuity at the end of 40 years, and I'll get, if it's a good place, they'll give me a golden watch also along with it, right? That was the mentality. Now we've gone to where people want to be aware, and that the downside of it is you have half-baked knowledge, and it's become a game of just because someone has 1 million followers, people assume that person must be an authority on the subject, but in reality may not be an authority on that subject. And secondly, see, I think when it comes to personal finance, I think a very important aspect of it is people are now getting a little more open to the fact that we're all running our different races. Earlier careers, let's start with education, right? There was a typical path. You did 12th standard, you did a undergraduate, you did a graduate, a few went for a postgraduate. Now I think we're a little more open to the fact that I might want to take a gap year in between. I might want to start with
Correct.
engineering, but then figure out, listen, this is not my life, let me become a musician.
Correct.
So which means people are now okay with the fact that okay, I also need to save, but I can probably save it in a different way. But see, some of the core fundamentals of personal finance don't go out of fashion. Things like asset allocation, diversification, risk management. The flavor will keep changing, but you can't say that no, this topic is no longer necessary and we can skip it.
Necessary.
So it becomes important to understand, what are the core building blocks. In terms of communicating that with newer audiences, you have to kind of make. So which is where the whole fin influencer category do take interesting topics, which are dry, if not boring. But when you add a spin to it, you make a video on it, you kind of make it. At least for me, it's like at least there's a 10% awareness. Yes, it's not 100% right, but at least that person goes back saying, okay, I need to invest. We can then debate about active, passive, with a distributor, without a distributor, do it direct, whether we should buy ABCD fund or XYZ. But at least they're taking that one step ahead to prior generations of saying we need to start taking care of our finances.